I will pull up the verse, which is Chaitanya Charitamrita. We finished verse 10 and 11 yesterday. And so we are on number 12 and 13. Would Lavanya or someone else like to start the prayers, or have you done that already?
No, Mataji, just now I joined. I was just about to message you and you joined.
Okay. Would you like to say the prayers?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langaite Kirim Etkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Narayanam Namaskrityam Narancheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Vadirayat Nashtaprayeshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloki Muktir Bhavati Nashtaki Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvasesha Shunyavadi Paschatyatistarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Yeah, thank you very much for beautiful prayers. And we will share screen now so we can go to chapter 4 of, Canto 4, chapter 12, verse number 12. And we also have Ruchi and we have Lavanya. Would you like to start us off with the readings?
Yes, Mataji. So today, how many verses, Mataji? 12 and...
I think 12, 13, 12 and 13 and...
Okay.
14 maybe, 12, 13, 14, because they're not very long purports each.
Yes, Mataji. Do you want me to start the first one?
Yes. 12 to 14 is what Leela is saying. Very good. So yes, we are on the right track. We go to number 12. You can read for us, please.
Tamevam Sila Sampannam Brahmanyam Deenavatsalam Goptaram Dharma Setunam Menire Pitaram Prajaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Dhruva Maharaja was endowed with all godly qualities. He was very respectful to the devotees of the Supreme Lord and very kind to the poor and innocent, and he protected religious principles. With all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens. Purport: the personal qualities of Dhruva Maharaja described herein are the exemplary qualities of a saintly king. Not only a king, but also the leaders of a modern democratic or impersonal government must be qualified with all these godly characteristics. Then the citizens of the state can be happy. It is clearly stated here that the citizens thought of Dhruva Maharaja as their father. As a child, depending on the able father, is completely satisfied, so the citizens of the state, being protected by the state or the king, should remain satisfied in every respect. At the present moment, however, there is no guarantee by the government of even the primary necessities of life in the state, namely the protection of the lives and the property of the citizens. One word is very significant in this connection: Brahmanyam. Dhruva Maharaja was very devoted to the Brahmanas who engage in the study of the Vedas and thereby know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are always busy propagating Krishna consciousness. The state should be very respectful to societies that distribute God consciousness all over the world. But unfortunately, at the present moment, there is no state or government support given to such movements. As for good qualities, it is very difficult to find anyone in state administration with any good qualities. The administrators simply sit in their administrative posts and say no to every request as if they were paid to say no to the citizens. Another word, Deena Vatsalam, is very significant also. The state head should be very kind to the innocent. Unfortunately, in this age, the state agents and the presidents draw good salaries from the state and they pose themselves as very pious, but they allow the running of slaughterhouses where innocent animals are killed. If we try to compare the godly qualities of Dhruva Maharaja to the qualities of modern statesmen, we can see that there is no actual comparison. Dhruva Maharaja was present in the Satya Yuga, as will be clear from the next verses. He was the ideal king in Satya Yuga. The government administration in the present age, Kali Yuga, is bereft of all godly qualities. Considering all these points, the people today have no alternative but to take to Krishna consciousness for protection of religion, life, and property. Thank you, Mataji.
Would you like to read 13 also, or should I ask Ruchi?
Yeah, if no one is there, I can read, Mataji.
Ruchi, would you like to read? Are you feeling better today? We don't want to stress you, but if you would like to, we don't want to not give you the chance. Each of us can do one verse. Looks like she's not feeling well. Would you like to read the second one also, and then I'll do the third one?
Yes, Mataji. Satrimsadvarsha-sahasram sasasakshiti-mandalam bhogai punyakshayam kurvan abhogair ashubhakshayam. Translation: Dhruva Maharaja ruled over this planet for 36,000 years. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions. Purport: that Dhruva Maharaja ruled over the planet for 36,000 years means that he was present in the Satya Yuga, because in the Satya Yuga, people used to live for 100,000 years. In the next Yuga, Treta, people used to live for 10,000 years, and in the next Yuga, Dwapara, for 1,000 years. In the present age, the Kali Yuga, the maximum duration of life is 100 years. With the change of the Yugas, the duration of life and memory and the quality of kindness and all other good qualities diminish. There are two kinds of activities, namely pious and impious. By executing pious activities, one can gain facilities for higher material enjoyment. But due to impious activities, one has to undergo severe distress. A devotee, however, is not interested in enjoyment or affected by distress. When he is prosperous, he knows, I am diminishing the results of my pious activities. And when he is in distress, he knows, I am diminishing the reactions of my impious activities. A devotee is not concerned with the enjoyment or distress. He simply desires to execute devotional service. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam that devotional service should be apratihata, unchecked by the material conditions of happiness or distress. The devotee undergoes processes of austerity such as observing Ekadasi and similar other fasting days and refraining from illicit sex life, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Thus, he becomes purified from the reactions of his past impious life, and because he engages in devotional service, which is the most pious activity, he enjoys life without separate endeavor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Beautiful verses, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Very beautiful. Evam bahusavam kalam mahatma vichalendriyah trivargopaikam nitva putra dayan nripasanam. The self-controlled great soul Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desires. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son. Purport: perfection of materialistic life is suitably attained by the process of observing religious principles. This leads automatically to successful economic development, and thus there is no difficulty in satisfying all material desires. Since Dhruva Maharaj, as a king, had to keep up with his status quo, or it would not have been possible to rule over the people in general, he did it perfectly. But as soon as he saw that his son was grown up and could take charge of the royal throne, he immediately handed over the charge and retired from all material engagements. One word used here is very significant, avichalendriyaha, which means that he was not disturbed by the agitation of the senses, nor was his sensory power diminished, although in years he was a very old man. Since he ruled over the world for 36,000 years, naturally, one may conclude that he became very, very old. But factually, his senses were very young, and yet he was not interested in sense gratification. In other words, he remained self controlled. He performed his duties perfectly according to the materialistic way. That is the way of behavior of great devotees. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, was the son of a very rich man. Although he had no interest in enjoying material happiness, when he was entrusted with doing something in managing the state, he did it perfectly. Srila Gaura Sundar advised him, from within, keep yourself and your mind completely aloof, but externally, execute the material duties just as they need to be done. This transcendental position can be achieved by devotees only, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. While others, such as yogis, try to control their senses by force, devotees, even though possessing full sensory powers, do not use them because they engage in higher transcendental activities. Jai. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So Lavanya, would you like to briefly describe to us what you have understood of 12 and 13?
Yes, Mataji. So, so here Srila Prabhupada is explaining about the qualities of Dhruva Maharaja as a saintly king, how he ruled his citizens of the state. And so here Srila Prabhupada is telling that Dhruva Maharaja, Dhruva Maharaja treated his citizens as his children, and as a father, he nicely took care of them, and he protected them, and he also make sure that every citizen of his state will be in satisfaction, always will be satisfied in every aspect. So like that, he was a very saintly king, and he took care of the citizens very nicely, and with all the godly characteristics, because he is a great devotee. What else we can expect? So he is a great devotee, and definitely he'll be the citizens are in good hands under his in his rule. Yeah. So that was the first paragraph, and also here Srila Prabhupada is comparing Dhruva Maharaja's kingdom with the present condition of the Kali Yuga. So even though Srila Prabhupada wrote this in those days, 50 years back, the same thing is happening today also, because even it is more worse than those times. But here Prabhupada is telling that at present moment, however, there is no guarantee by the government of even the primary necessities of life in the state, namely the protection of the lives and the property of the citizens. So definitely we can see that before our eyes, how the governments are treating the citizens, and how they are not caring for the citizens at all. Just they are the leaders, they are just so-called leaders, they are just trying to fill up their own pockets and their own comforts of life and their own positions. They don't want to give up any of that, and just they are exploiting the poor citizens of the country. So coming to the next paragraph, one word is very significant in this connection, Brahmanyam. So Dhruva Maharaja was very devoted to the Brahmanas who engage in the study of the Vedas. So as a king, he always respected the Brahmanas, and also he always encouraged them, or encouraged them to propagate Krishna consciousness, a godly consciousness among the citizens of the state. So it is very difficult. So as per the state administration, usually when Kshatriyas, they are doing the state administration, they will be always fearful, and they'll be always they'll not be so much soft hearted. Usually they are very strict with the rules and everything, and whether the citizens are following the rules or not, they'll just see all that in a very strict manner. But the thing is, but as Dhruva Maharaja is very perfect devotee or pure devotee of the Lord, so he always comes up with this concept of God consciousness and Krishna consciousness to be always given to the citizens, and that is the main good quality to know that what about him. As for good qualities, it is very difficult to find anyone in state administration with any good qualities. The administrators simply sit in their administrative posts and say no to every request. So now Srila Prabhupada is again comparing about this quality with the current situation, where the administrators, even though they have a little bit of good qualities, initially they'll be good, like when joining the ministry or something, they'll say that we'll do that, we'll do this. They'll be start initially, they may be good for some time, but after that again they'll change, and they get influenced with all this power and money and everything, and they get they easily get changed and they exploit the people. So that's what we see. And another word, Dina Vatsalam, is very significant also. So Dina Vatsalam means showing the mercy, or the what you'll say, should be kind, the kindness towards the innocent. So here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about innocent, so killing the innocent animals is very wrong, and that's how the administrators are now doing nowadays. And even though they have lot of things, lot of comforts and lot of good salaries, so much of good salary they earn and everything, but they are just in the backside, they are allowing everything, all this kind of bad things happening in the state. So one has to learn from this, from Dhruva Maharaja's story, that how a saintly king should be. And so he wasn't a good, he's a good example to the administrators, and but to be God conscious and to be Krishna conscious, and they should have kindness towards their citizens and innocent people, mm, and should not exploit them, and innocent animals should not slaughter them. So all these things. So but we can't compare. But Dhruva Maharaja is a very highly elevated personality, so nobody can compare with him. But at least the current age administrators, they have to learn from him. So by learning from by studying Bhagavatam, and so because all these godly qualities are gone nowadays, so the only shelter is Srimad Bhagavatam, where we can find all these kind of saintly administrators like Dhruva Maharaja and Prithu Maharaj and Ambarish Maharaj, all these saintly kings, where one can easily get an example of how to be Krishna consciousness, even though they are in the state of managing the citizens. That's what I can say from this verse, Mataji.
Yeah.
You want to add anything, Mataji?
Very nice, very, very beautiful verses and purports and nice explanation, Lavanya. It is so important for us to understand what is a really good administration, what are the state heads supposed to do, because nowadays what we see is so different from what the prescribe. We need to understand by reading what is actually the real government. We don't even know what is real government anymore, because all around we can just see all kinds of nonsense going on. In the name of ruling, they exploit, they extort, they manipulate, and they cheat, and they just take big fat salaries and they do nothing. Or rather, they actually allow bad things to happen, like slaughterhouses, and no wonder we are having all these pandemics and everything. So ideal king we are seeing, but today's government bereft of all godly qualities. So no alternative but to take to Krishna consciousness for protection of religion, life, and property. Would you like to speak on verse 13 also, my dear?
Yes, Mataji, I'll try.
Please.
So here in this verse, Dhruva Maharaja ruled over this planet for 36,000 years, and he diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions. Okay, so first point in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that about the 36,000 years means that Dhruva Maharaja is present in Satya Yuga. That is, and that he's given here like for our confirmation that Dhruva Maharaja was in the age of Satya Yuga, and because people used to live for 100,000 years at the time, and in Treta Yuga they used to live for 10,000, and in Kali Yuga the maximum duration is 100 years. So with all these changes in the yugas also, the quality of the people, the quality of the kindness and goodness and godly consciousness, everything is getting down or diminishing. So so as we are in Kali Yuga, we are just degrading ourselves in this material world with the sense enjoyment. So that's what I understood, Mataji. And also here one more in this same purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about there are two kinds of activities, namely pious and impious. So by executing pious activities, one can gain facilities for higher material enjoyment. But due to impious activities, one has to undergo severe distress. So that we can easily see that if when we are doing any pious things, like usually people aspire for going back to heavenly planets, and they do pious activities like giving charities and doing yajnas and all sorts of charity things, and pujas and worshipping the demigods and all. So they are aspire for this uh, going back to the heavenly planets and um, get a material enjoyment, higher material enjoyment than this earth. So for that they do pious activities, and impious activities definitely lead one to distress. So when that we can see in this life only. So suppose if anybody kills any person, he is definitely going to a jail and having a sentence, and has to there in the has to be in the prison. So definitely his life is in distress. So we see the difference here only, how pious and impious activities are done. But and also when we are enjoying uh, the material things, then we can say that we are diminishing the results of the pious activities. And when he is in distress, they are diminishing the reactions of impious activities. So all bad karma is getting. So we say that suppose in any case, suppose if we are suffering, then we say it's all our karma. Due to our karma we are suffering like this. So so we can see that all our previous bad things, bad karma is nullified or getting down, because we are suffering at this particular point. So, and also here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that, however, a devotee, if he is a pious man or impious man, that is different. But a devotee, he knows exactly what's going on. For example, I want to say my own thing. When in 2018, when I'm coming back from India to US with my kids, I got stuck in the airport, Miami airport, for one day, and with the full luggage, and I had to sleep in the airport only on the benches. So with the kids in the midnight. So it was like a terrible experience for me. I can't even forget that. So it's all, I feel that it's all my karma, bad karma, which I had to undergo. And I chanted in that airport to get back onto the flight to Charlotte, desperately. I never chanted in my life like that, Mataji. So really, I was so desperate to get back into the flight, because due to bad weather, all the flights were cancelled, and a lot of people were stuck in the airport. So it was my condition at that time. So like that, when I was when I came back to Charlotte, Lalitangi Mataji said that it's all bad karma. It's all karma. you have to undergo all that. So you had to undergo all that. So that's why it happened. Mm. So now reading here, I remember that. So a devotee is not concerned with enjoyment or distress. He simply desires to execute devotional service. But it is a high level thing, Mataji. I don't know whether I may not able to think like that when I'm in distress, not yet, but maybe I'll reach that level sometime later. I don't know. But the thing is here, a devotee is not concerned with enjoyment or distress. He simply desires to execute devotional service. That's what even Guru Maharaj says that, or in some lectures I heard that whenever you are in distress, whenever you are in suffering, you should always think that how in this situation, how should I serve Krishna? Mm, but it's very difficult to think at that time. But at least we
Right.
can aspire for that. Yeah.
That's why we need association of devotees to remind us, because when we are in
Mm,
situation, our minds, first of all,
yeah.
are so tiny, we are like little ants. So
Mm,
we are just engulfed by that. But when we take association of devotees, they help us, like how Lalitangi Mataji helped you to understand the
mm,
situation. So that,
mm,
coming together, discussing like what we are doing, sharing, all these things are very, very important, especially now because of this pandemic. We cannot meet, we cannot go to temple, we cannot do anything. So that's why these Zoom meetings become very, very important for us.
yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
So in this, it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam that devotional service should be apratihata, unchecked by the material conditions of happiness or distress. The devotee undergoes process of austerity such as observing Ekadasi and similar other fasting days and refraining from all these four regulative principles. And therefore he becomes purified from the reactions of his past impious life. So when one engages in this devotional service, then automatically they are getting purified from the reactions of the past impious life, and he can be purified and become eligible to go back to Godhead. So the devotional service should be apratihata, unchecked by the material conditions of happiness or distress. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here, Mataji.
Yes, nice. Very nice. And every point and explained it nicely. And thank you for explaining about how when we are in distress, we are actually diminishing our impious activities reactions. So that is important to remember. I am diminishing the reactions of my impious activities. This is very important.
Can we think like this, Mataji, when devotees are put into distress, all the time, suppose whatever things we happen sometimes, right? For us also, like some minor accidents or like anything, some unnecessary things will going on. So at that time, we can think like this, Mataji, like all our bad karma is going on off, like, and we are getting purified.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes, yes. Just diminishing all the, impious reactions. That's
Mhm.
we must look at distress. That is true. Nice.
So, how this is related to Dhruva Maharaja Mataji? I didn't understand the connection. He
Because
diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, he diminished the inauspicious reactions. So, for Dhruva Maharaja, how this will be like, Mataji? How we will understand?
yeah, because in spite of the fact that he had seen the Lord face to face and he received that benediction, the Lord told him, "You go back and you rule the planet and you finish up your lifetime." So
Mm.
even whatever little bit was left, because we can see how he even started fighting with the yakshas, and he had to be corrected. So he was completely purified.
Mm.
Even though he had seen the Lord face to face, there was still some purification that he had to undergo. Just like how Ajamil,
Mm.
he saw the Yamadutas, then he saw the Vishnu Dutas, and then he came to his senses and he had to go to Haridwar or Badrinath or wherever, and he had to take up the process of devotional service and purify himself. And then he could Godhead. So there was still some purification that was left because he also started fighting with the Yakshas and started killing all of them, and then he had to be corrected. A pure devotee will not, I mean, though he was on a very high exalted level, is already in touch with transcendence. He doesn't need for the purification. He's already pure. So he needed to finish up whatever was left. And so he carried out all the activities in a very Krishna conscious way so that he finishes up everything. Impious, pious, everything is finished up in this lifetime. Standing, but we can check with Guru Maharaj.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Text number 14. So the self-controlled great soul Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many, many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desires. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son. So you might say these four Purusharthas, they have nothing to do with devotional service. And that is true. In one sense, the devotee bypasses all these things. When you come to devotional service, it's the most exalted stage. You don't need to separately go in for economic development and follow, a particular path of developing your economics, and then separately religiosity, and separately sense enjoyment, and separately liberation. It's all included and even more in the process of devotional service. So why was Dhruva Maharaj engaging like this? Because he had to perform his duty as a king. He had to show the citizens how to carry out their life properly in service to the Lord, which means you have to take care of all your duties nicely. At every stage and every age of life, we have different duties and responsibilities. Just yesterday, we talked about that. Grihastha ashram has certain responsibilities. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas have certain duties to carry out. So like that, he had to perform everything nicely so that all the citizens could be taken care of well. Like here it is said, he had to make sure as a king, he had to keep up his status quo. That means he had to uphold the dharma of being a king and carry out all the religious duties and the principles properly so that he could rule the kingdom nicely, and the people would be also satisfied and happy because the Lord would be satisfied and in turn would shower all benedictions, prosperity, peace, wealth, grains, everything would come because of that. But when he saw that his son was grown up and he could take charge of the royal throne without any attachment, he handed over everything to his son. So this is another very big example, not like, till the dying death you hold on to your chair, as they say, in politics and all these things. These people, they never want to give up power. They just hold on and hold on and hold on. They never think of retiring because their senses are uncontrolled and they live for enjoying the senses. So they just hold on till they are kicked out by death. But we are given a very clear indication that this is not how a responsible person behaves. When the suitable time comes, we must hand over charge of all our material affairs to our grown-up children. And in the chapter, the Pandavas retired timely, which is there in Canto 1, chapter 15, very clear description is given about how one must actually retire from family life, from materialistic pursuits, from whatever it is one has been doing, and take to the Vanaprastha life. There, the husband and wife go on pilgrimage, they go on to different holy places, they immerse themselves more and more in bhakti, because now children have been given charge of whatever is business affairs, house, this, that, and they simply focus on spiritual life. So retirement is actually meant for purification, but here people don't think of retiring. They think of how much we can enjoy more. So this is not the Vedic life. This is not the way human life has to be conducted. We must understand the value of the human form of life and not live like cats and dogs. So one word here is very significant, avichalendriyaha, which means he was not disturbed by the agitation of the senses. So he was in perfect command of his senses, and so he was not disturbed in any situation of, by, oh, I'm a king, I should enjoy. That was never his thinking. He was thinking like a father taking care of his citizens. How can I make sure that every citizen is taken care of nicely? So he was very self-controlled, and because he was living on a very pure platform, he never became old. Guru Maharaj said just yesterday, remember to Parikshit Prabhu, you stay on the spiritual platform, you'll never get old.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
So we can actually transcend old age, diseases, death, everything. We can transcend all those things even while in the material body. And we can come to the platform of transcendence and enjoy real nectar even in this life. And then we are no longer subjected to the whips of the material energy. But for this, we have to really practice Krishna consciousness nicely. Bhagavad Gita also, Srila Prabhupada explains in the 14th chapter, verse number 20, he says, devotee enjoys life with a thrill at every moment. Why? Because he has taken full shelter of Krishna. Whatever Krishna wants, he simply does that. And he is no longer affected by the material energy. So this is the great power, value, and good fortune of Krishna consciousness, that we can also become completely aloof from the material energy by being completely immersed in devotional service. So, in other words, he remained self-controlled. He performed duties perfectly according to the materialistic way. This is very important to understand. He was not materialistic. When you devotees activities and you look at a normal, ordinary karmis activity, they look the same. They drive to work, we drive to work. They eat, we eat. We go to sleep, they go to sleep. They perform certain activities of recreation, we perform. But there's a big difference in motivation. Our motivation is what? To simply make Krishna happy. Motivation, how can I make myself happy? They want to put themselves in the center. They want to be the enjoyer, the controller, the proprietor. And we say, no, 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 no. That is Krishna's position. We will simply do everything to facilitate Krishna's enjoyment. It may appear to be done like that, but it is not done with that motivation. So on the surface of it, people will look at us devotees and say, oh, you go to work, you also drive, you also go to shopping malls, you also go on vacation, you also do all these things. Yes, we do all these things, but what is our motivation? Even when we go on vacation, it is like japa retreat or kirtan retreat or some holy place, going on pilgrimage, something connected to Krishna. We don't just go crazy in the shopping mall or go crazy and go to some weird place and just to just have fun. We go with the intention to please Krishna even through that activity. So this is the behavior of great devotees. Like Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of a very rich man. Although he had no interest in enjoying material happiness, when he was entrusted with doing something in managing the state, he did it perfectly. Not like, oh, I'm devotee, I'm not interested, I will not check the account books, I will not see what the farmers have done, I will not see what they have done with the land or with the... He had to take care of every aspect of managing that estate. And so he did it perfectly. So within yourself, Lord Chaitanya said, you keep your mind and senses completely aloof from the spirit of enjoyment. But externally, you do everything nicely, just as they need to be done. So this is a very important injunction and instruction of Lord Chaitanya, because he wants everything to be done perfectly, and he wants, whether one is Grihe Thako, Vanne Thako, Sada Hari Bole Dako. And he wants us to develop a higher taste. What is that beautiful in Bhagavad Gita, in the early chapters, for the develop a higher taste, you can give up the lower taste. What is that famous verse?
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha.
Yeah.
So that is 3.
Vishaya
Is that
vinivartante.
niraharasya dehinaha rasavajjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate.
Param drishtva nivartate. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. By developing a higher taste, we can give up the lower taste.
The lower taste, yeah.
Yes, we don't take any more enjoyment in
Mataji, when I was planning to go
Yeah.
to India, one of my friend devotee from Charlotte, she was suggesting me to remember this verse always. when you are going to indulge in lot of shopping. Then
Yes,
remember this
yes,
verse.
yeah. Go to India means eat all bhel puri, pani puri, chaat masala, all this. Enjoy.
And also shopping, Mataji, especially saris and jewelry.
Yes. Let's go. Let's buy everything. All the silk, all the jewelry, all the high heels, all the purses, all the perfumes, all this, all that, and bring it back to where. Yeah, we have.
That's why that's why I don't forget this verse.
Yes. Develop a higher taste so that we give up the lower taste. Very
Yes.
important for us devotees. I'm also give me good prasadam and I will sit and wolf it down like there's no tomorrow. So
I
yes,
just wanted to say, this is Govardhan Leela, and I
Hare Krishna,
apologize.
Mataji.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and our dear Guru Dev. I apologize for not being on time. I was doing some shopping for food shopping, and it just, with the traffic and everything, it just got way out of control. So I apologize for being late. I'm usually way on time, but I had to get that done. So thank you, Tridevi and Lavanya. Both of you, I'm assuming, spoke on the verses. Did you not? Where did you finish? Which one did you finish on today?
14.
Okay, so 15 will be for Monday, so I can write the schedule. Okay.
Yes.
I want to tell you what you're saying is very important, because I used to want to go when I go on a vacation. Oh, we're going to enjoy this. We're going to enjoy that. We're going to do, well, it was funny. I was with devotees on this little outing, and I did not, and I mean this sincerely, I did not have a desire I did not want to enjoy the typical things that people do on vacation. They really made me sick, to be honest with you. And, like overspending money. I didn't spend any money on anything, which is telling me that Krishna he's working on me, because I must be developing a higher taste, because I don't see the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't see the value in it anymore. I think, if there's something I need, well, then I'll buy it, like an item of clothing or something that I need. But to just go and spend frivolously was not something that was done on this trip, at least not from my point of view. And I felt good about that. I really, really did. And yes, we did, we didn't say Krishna's name every minute, but we were chanting, and, we cooked our food in the apartment, and, we offered it, and we did some kirtan, and we did Mangala Arti. And so it was very holy, in that sense. But as soon as you step out into this material soup, it made me kind of sad that this is what people do. It made me so sad. I was just looking, it was one show after another, and it was all about money. That's what I'm trying to say. It was all about money. And it was very upset, and I didn't want to participate. So I guess yes, I think we can go on a vacation, but we have to keep Krishna in mind on that vacation. And there are people that go out and they're gambling. Well, then let them gamble, but I'm not going to do it. Things like that. Some people, you're going to see people, have a drink. I'm not talking about devotees, just people out there. It's not something that really does a thing for me. So I don't, maybe shopping, if I go to India, and I did buy a lot of clothing when I went there but it wasn't for me, it was for family members. And I'm just trying to understand what is really, someone said, oh, we can't enjoy, we cannot go on vacation. Well, I don't know that that's true. If we keep Krishna in mind, I don't know. I'll put that question out there. If we can go on vacation, and just be without having to spend huge amounts of money and, you know what I mean, do things that are inappropriate. So
Yeah, we have to be, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. You know, we have to be so careful because material energy is very, very powerful. And she, as Guru Maharaj said in today morning's lecture, he said that even though the living entity is superior in terms of quality, because the material energy is so powerful, she can easily engulf and overcome us. So devotee is very, very careful to see where my energy is going, where my time is going, where my thoughts are going, where my attention is going, and whether this activity is really good for me, and so on and so forth. We have to always be doing the checks and balances system to, to decide whether, I mean, just to tell you, even devotional service, we have to be so careful about whether, is this really what Guru and Krishna want me to do? I'll just give you an example. The other day I got an invitation. It was an interfaith meeting. They were inviting everyone to come. And they said we are going to discuss about migrants and refugees and people who come as immigrants and how, we need to be kind and compassionate. And they spoke about how you will be entertaining an angel unaware sometimes, and we should remember that scripture, and so on and on and on. And it was RSVP. So I said, okay, I would like to come and I would like to speak from our Hare Krishna scriptures. They replied back saying, well, we have a lineup of speakers already. Thank you very much. Maybe we can include you in our next event as speaker, but for now we have. Then I was thinking to myself, should I go? Should I go? Should I go? I'll get an opportunity to give mantra cards. I'll get an opportunity to distribute prasadam. Even though I don't get a chance to speak, so what? At least I'll give mantra cards. At least I'll get a chance to distribute prasadam. These people may never ever get prasadam, or never know about the Maha Mantra. Maybe then as I always do, I wrote to Guru Maharaj. I said, Guru Maharaj, I'm unsure what is the right thing to do. Should I go? Then I would allow me to speak, but there's an opportunity for me to do this and do that. And he said, wrote back immediately, and he said, if they want you to listen, that means they want you to, they don't want you to speak. That means they want you to listen to what they have to say. Better to go to a program where you can represent Srila Prabhupada. So that decided it, I said, okay, no wasting time over here, because the spiritual master with his divine vision, he can see so much better than what I can see with my limited vision. So I always cross-check everything with Guru Maharaj to see, is this a good idea of Guru Maharaj? It seems like a good preaching. On the surface of it, yes, I could give prasadam, but my time would be better served in a different way at a different time and place. So then I declined. I said, sorry, I'm not coming. And they said, well, anyway, our program is cancelled. We'll let you know when it's going to be held again. So what I'm trying to say is, we may think something is, looking like a good opportunity or a good initiative. Even devotional service can come, Maya can present devotional service as a ploy to distract us. Really. It can happen, sometimes I was just giving my own example at one point, I was giving seminars, and then they were saying, oh, can you do this seminar? Can you do that seminar? And then I was getting carried away, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, my sadhana will be affected. If I overdo it today, what will happen to my sadhana tomorrow? What will happen to my mangalarti? What will happen to my chanting? And for me, that is like, I have to do that first. Otherwise, I just cannot function properly. And then I have to say, no, I'm so sorry. Thank you for this opportunity for devotional service, but this is beyond my capacity. I can only do 2 seminars, one morning, one evening, not one in the afternoon. That's not possible for me. So I put my foot down. On the face of it, it's like, oh, Sri Devi Mataji, you're doing such nice seminars, do more. But no, we have to be very, not get carried away by the presentation that might come, that, oh, it's so nice, we want more. We have to always remember to keep our roots strong and our Krishna conscious practice strong, so that we are not, we are not pushed off, by the strong material energy. She can be very deceptive, and she knows our weaknesses very well. Maya knows exactly where to catch us, boy. It's such a challenge for me, I see good food and finish. I forget all about my diet. Such a challenge. And I have to really work on this. There's a lot of work to be done in this area. I know that. I see that. But what to do? I have to take shelter of Krishna and pray for, good intelligence to handle all these temptations, because they're always coming at us every which way. So
This is true. Very
it's a
true.
struggle. It's a big struggle. We are not pure devotee. I'm not a pure devotee by any.
No, I'm not either by any means.
I have a long way to go. I mean, I'm just struggling to become Nishtha. Bhajana Kriya is initiation. After that comes Anartha Nivritti. After that comes Nishtha. So we are all, at least that's my understanding,
Yes.
we're all trying to clear our anarthas to come to the platform of steadiness.
Steadiness, yes.
Big deal. It's not easy to reach even Nishtha. What to speak of Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema, those are all like far, far away. But Krishna is very merciful and kind. So at least we have the assurance that we just keep plodding and stay on the road. One day, some lifetime we will get there.
Oh, I hope so. I hope it's in this lifetime. Guru wants us to come back in this lifetime.
Me too, boy. Yes, very much so. Very much so. Yeah.
Once again, I just want to thank you.
Together, in good times or in stormy weather. You know that poem that Mother Krishna Nandini would say? We are in this together, in good times, in stormy weather, doing the work that it takes, and so on. I mean, it's a nice poem. I'll share it with you all sometime.
Okay. I just once again wanted to apologize because I'm usually not this late. So please forgive me. This was supposed to be my day, but you know what? I was giving the class quite a few times this week anyway, so I don't feel too bad. I got on there Monday and Tuesday, and I think I missed one day. I think I missed maybe I was on there Wednesday. I missed one day partially. Yesterday I missed half, and today partially. So, but yeah, so we're keeping it going, and that's the most important thing, that we keep this. This is a beautiful